Descriptive analytics, summarizing relationships with correlation. What associations are evident within the observed sample? So the context is a marketing analyst wants to understand how advertising efforts correlate with customer behavior. And the variables are advertising spend, website visits, and purchases. And you can see the data is down here for a series of athletic wear, sort of fake name athletic wear companies. And you've got the advertising spend, the website visits, and the number of purchases. And if we were to plot two of these at a time in graphs, we'd end up with three graphs. We'd have website visits versus purchases. You can see the correlation there. Looks like a pretty high correlation, right? Everything's along or close to the line. Advertising spend versus purchases, a little looser correlation, and advertising spend versus website visits, about the same as this one. But we can actually calculate precise values for correlation. And we do that with the correlation function, which is CORREL, and then the two sets of data. And for this function, we have to leave off the heading, the column heading, because the function only takes numbers. So website visits versus purchases, correlation is 0.935. That's really strong. How do we know that? If you look over here at your cheat sheet for correlation, R is the correlation coefficient. It's divided, it goes up by 0.20 each time. And we're in this range here between 0.80 and 1. And if you look down below, you'll see that that's labeled a very strong correlation. Let's do the same over here for advertising spend versus purchases. Separate the arrays by commas. All right, that one's not bad, but it's just in the strong group, right? Just barely over the line for strong. And then advertising spend versus website visits. So advertising spend, comma, website visits. And that one's still strong, a little bit stronger than this one, but still just strong. Okay, now we can do those individually, or we could do them all really quickly all at once. And that's where the data analysis toolpath comes into play. So if we go to the data tab and pick data analysis and choose correlation here, then we can actually highlight the entire matrix over here. And notice I've included the column headings in what's highlighted. That's because the data analysis toolpath, unlike the correlation function, can work with the column headings. In fact, it's very useful because then it labels the output appropriately. And so we also have to tell it the labels are in the first row, so make sure that that box is checked. And then for the output range, we'll go ahead and pick right there where it says use DATP. Click OK. Paste over. And you notice you get a really nice correlation matrix, but the numbers have lots of decimal points. So I'm going to highlight and change the number of decimal points down to what we actually use here, and you can see that all the values indeed do match. So for example, this one, which is advertising spend versus website visits, right? Here's advertising spend, here's website visits. They meet at 0.638, which is exactly what this value was. And we could do the same for the others as well. So this is a shortcut, especially useful when you've got lots of variables and you're looking for correlations. All right, now let's go ahead and answer the question. So what does the correlation coefficient R tell you? It tells you both the strength and direction of the relationship. The strength is as the number becomes more extreme, right? Either towards 1, closer to 1, or closer to -1. In other words, further away from 0, it becomes stronger in both directions. And the direction of the relationship is either positive or negative. The direction between website visits and purchases, right? So we can get that answer a couple of ways. Website visits and purchases, we can see that the line goes up, so that's definitely positive correlation. But we can also just look at the coefficient and see that it's a positive number. It's not negative, so it's positive correlation. The strength of the relationship is, as we just mentioned a little while ago, very strong at that 0.93 value. That's really, really strong. The direction of the relationship between advertising spend and purchases is also positive because the line's sloping up, but also because the correlation coefficient is a positive number. And the strength of the relationship, as we mentioned, was just over the line for strong. And we're all set. That does it. Congratulations.